Yes, this morning at approximately 7:30 a.m., we have a driver that had her 4 kids in tow driving eastbound. Obviously, it's a busy corridor here on 1960. We're told that a vehicle possibly cut her off on the roadway, forcing her to take evasive action. She attempted to possibly overcorrect. The vehicle rolled over several times, eventually coming to rest on an embankment. We're told that the mom, the driver, and an 8-year-old child possibly were ejected from the vehicle. And so they've been transported. They're both in very critical condition. Mom is in worse shape right now, so we're pulling for both of them. The other 3 kids were pulled from the vehicle, being that they're in ages from 2 to 5. They're being checked out just as a precautionary purposes. Anytime there's a rollover, there could be some internal trauma. And the other vehicle, we're told, the one that initially cut them off, fled the scene, didn't stop to render aid. It's a very rough description right now, but we're told possibly a small silver SUV. And so we'd like to know who that person is. And then I also want to thank the bystanders. They were active bystanders who stopped, didn't just film, but got out to help the family in their moment of greatest need.
Talk about this scene. I mean, devastating. I mean, a mother and her 8-year-old kid ejected from a car, and they're both in critical condition. How tough are these scenes?
Very difficult. These are always the most difficult. We started getting out our behavioral health team to come out and kind of counsel with our deputies out here, and we had a chaplain around for the family as well, just because it always just hits a little bit different when there's a child involved. And just looking at the wreckage myself, I saw a child's backpack, I saw a small pair of shoes, and it just really frames the moment. And like we were saying, how in an instant, people's lives changed forever. A sister was driving a few cars behind and witnessed some of it. She was very traumatized, and the bystanders that helped, I'm sure, are traumatized. So there's a lot of trauma that sometimes goes unresolved, and we deal with it, but it does make an impact. And so just devastating to look at a beautiful, busy morning, everybody going about their day, and this family's life has been changed forever.
What charges could this other driver who cut them off, what charges could they face?
Yeah, this other driver, depending on what we find out from the wreckage and other witnesses, could potentially be facing a failure to stop and render aid charge anytime they flee the scene of an accident involving major injuries. And so that's a possibility. We also don't know if there were other reckless driving going on with that driver. So we're asking businesses to please scan their cameras this morning on this corridor between 7:15 and 7:30. They must have caught something, as well as drivers that were commuting that possibly have a dash cam or witnessed something. A better description would really help.
What do you want to say to this person? I mean, this could have been a lot worse. You guys could have
absolutely. We could have had even more children injured in this. It's just don't know all the details, but whatever it was, please come forward, give us your side of the story. We'd like to know exactly what happened. There's always different versions to an incident, so we want to get your side of the story. But again, just a reminder to everyone to please be cautious. We've said it over and over. We have a dangerous driving culture in Harris County these days. It seems like more than ever. I'm a native Houstonian, and this is the worst I've ever seen it. And also for folks to use their seatbelts as well. I see one car seat. The vehicle hasn't been turned over yet, so I don't know if there's others. But nonetheless, anytime someone's ejected, it's probably a good indicator that seatbelts weren't being utilized. And we often say that the chances for serious injury and death increase dramatically when you're not wearing a seatbelt. Many times a person could survive a serious accident if they're wearing seatbelts. In this case, it appears the two that were most seriously injured were not.
So they were not wearing a seatbelt.
That's what it appears like.
And you guys right now, so the car is still on scene.
Yes, it's still on scene. We will be lifting it up shortly. Our investigators, best in the business, are doing a crash reconstruction right now, piecing the evidence together, canvassing for cameras, so they'll be lifting the vehicle out in a moment. But I like to tell it's like a black sedan. It's flipped over right now on its roof. So that's what we have right now.
And right now, people, if they may have seen anything, businesses nearby, like you said, they need to come up and
please, because it would really help us a lot. And the quicker we could identify who this driver is, obviously if they did cut him off intentionally or there was some type of altercation prior to this, we need to know, and we need to make sure we're taking and holding this driver responsible because they potentially have caused some lives here to be either seriously injured or dying. And we don't want this person on the roadways. We need to hold them accountable.
And do you know how old Mom is? I don't know if you said it.
I didn't get a chance to get a glimpse of her. She had already been transported for care. But sister was here. Still appears to be fairly young. I would guess anywhere 20s to 30s. And kids are pretty young, so I would render to guess anywhere between 20 to 30 years old.
Okay. Anything else that you really want us to get out there, or that I didn't ask you?
No, I think you covered it all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you
thank
so
you
much.
guys.
Good
Thank
job.
you for what you do. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.